Thank you so much for joining us in this second session. I am so happy to see you. Last time, we talked about the different components that make up a network. In this video, we are going to talk about the different types of network connections. Now, we have two basic connection types, wireless connection and physical connection. A wireless connection is pretty much self-explanatory, where connection happens over the Wi-Fi. A physical connection is where only a special port on a router can take a certain connection. This is usually called the interface on the router. Now, the internet is the largest network in existence. In fact, the term internet means network of networks. So, it's basically a collection of interconnected private and public networks. We consider private networks as LAN, which stands for Local Area Network, which is the setup that you will find in the average home or a small business. Usually, these smaller setups are faster and are controlled by a single individual or organization. Now, WAN, which stands for Wide Area Network, is a large network setup that is controlled by a telecommunications company that provides internet access to the LAN. So, what do you think a WAN really is? That's right, it's basically multiple LANs configured together. This does potentially cause a wide area network to be slower than a local area network because of the fact that it has to be dealing with these geographical interferences of a city or a town. So trees, buildings, and so forth, they do slow down wireless connections in addition to the distance that the signal has to travel. Now, the internet is not owned by any specific individual or group. There are organizations that were developed to maintain and structure the standards of the internet protocols and processes. These structures come in different forms of topology that have been used ever since the days of the World Wide Web. They include DSL setups, dial-up connection setups, and cellular connections. DSL, which stands for Digital Subscriber Line, are older telephone connections that were used back in the day. In fact, I remembered when homes used to only have these types of connections when Wi-Fi wasn't such of a thing. Nowadays, people use cable modem connections like those that were mentioned in our previous video. And they are what we call always-on internet connections because their connections are connected through cable, so you have consistent connection that is coming through. Okay, now dial-up telephone connections, which consists of only a phone line and a modem, has very low transfer speeds, and you will hardly find people using those today. Now finally, we have our cellular connection, which although it is limited by the device's capabilities and the cell tower it is connected to, it is still the easiest and most popular connection for mobile devices today. Now, there are two types of network setups: traditional separate networks and converging networks. Traditional separate networks are individual networks that cannot communicate with each other. This means that each device has different technology and has different set of rules. For example, you will find an administrator that sets up a network for printing, has another network for streaming, another network for accessing data, and so on. Converging networks, where each device has the same set of communication rules, so information like data, voice, video, printing devices can be shared amongst all the devices on the network. That is the type of connection that I think I have in my home. What kind of connection do you have? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next class. Thank you for watching.